and welcome to Community Report on Channels Television. We continue our spotlight on the coronavirus pandemic and its effect on businesses. We again sent out messages to our friends since we're still practicing social distancing. So we sent out messages to our friends to send in some videos and to tell us how the lockdown has affected their businesses and what they are doing to still make ends meet. Welcome to the show. I'm Victoria Idowu.
Nigeria has a population of almost 200 million people, with almost half of that population living below poverty line. Many people cannot survive or eat if they don't go out to fend for themselves. With the extension of the lockdown, a lot more people are not finding it easy. We went round some areas in Lagos to check the compliance level. By the end of the week, the yellow buses are back on the road. On our journey, we came across people who say staying at home may be impossible because they live from hand to mouth. At Ojoye Food Market in Mushin, there is a lot of buying and selling. The government had promised some palliative measures for the people, but they say they have not seen any of it.
So, evidence power money, I want to the inside no, I mean as le minta. So gbogbo àwọn tó dé ntajà náà ebi ń pa wọ́n jẹ́ ká jáde síta. Nǹkan tó mú wa jáde ní pé kò sówó. Àdè róúnjẹ gbà. Àwa dẹ̀ ní àní kankan àdè róúnjẹ sílé. Tá bá jáde lọ́jọ́ kan à lè jẹun.
This man here has an advice for the government.
It's not by staying at home the solution for the problem. What we need for them to encourage all those drivers or motor drivers, for them to come out. When they are coming out, just for them to ride 3 passengers, one as front, so that people can come out and walk. What they will do, they can have something for them to eat. Not that they will say they should stay at home. They are staying at home. There's some police and army carrying passengers. Carry 2 passengers at the front, carry 4 at the back. They are still squeezing themselves, and they are saying they are staying at home. Staying at home, is this the solution for the thing? But what they are going to encourage people is this. Let's just encourage us that how we are going to live about this thing. The people that start this problem, they are working now, they are coming out, they are working. They are doing something of the better of their country.
The children also say small businesses have felt the biggest blow with this lockdown. From Abeokuta, Esther Salami tells us how her poultry business has been affected by the lockdown.
The COVID-19 has really affected our business in the sense that, for instance, this is one of our pens. We have 2 other pens that are empty presently. Usually they're not like that. We usually have beds in all of our pens. But since the COVID-19 started and there has been lockdown, we've had to reduce the number of beds that we are rearing. Most of our customers too, they've shut down their businesses, so supplying to them has become difficult for us. Then funds are not coming in because the product that we supplied before are yet to be paid for before the lockdown. So now that they are out of business, in quotes, we are out of business too, but we are still managing this 1 pen so that we are not totally out of business.
This snail farmer tells us how difficult it's been during this lockdown.
We do our sales on a daily basis, you order, we supply to you, but now we can't do that. We need to pick a day, 2 days in a week for us to supply our customers. Everybody just needs to stay safe out there, and although the amount of requests we receive is not like before. In the aspect of the feeding aspect, we're out of feed as I speak to you, and their feed is not something we can just mill and store somewhere because it expires, and no one ever knew that the lockdown was going to be this long. So now we're out of feed. All we can do now is just to improvise with leaves, and fruit is a no-no because it's not cost effective.
Some regular things we do as men and women is try to change the way we look. For women, going to the salon is impossible, and the effect is on the hairstylist.
The coronavirus pandemic has affected all of us globally, and small businesses in Nigeria are not immune to it. So we are not able to open our business to serve our customers as we usually would do. However, there are some things that we are doing to stay relevant to our customers, to stay positive, as well as to stay even relevant to our staff, and as well as to generate income. One of the things we are doing in order to stay relevant to our customers is that we are making videos, and these videos show our customers how to take care of their hair, how to loosen, detangle, shampoo their hair, because we recognize that some of these customers have no idea how to do it because they have left that to us, and for that we are grateful. However, during this time we are doing our best to hold their hand as well as direct them on how to take care of their hair so that when we open, their hair is not in a mess. We also use our social media platforms to send out hair tips. Hi Amy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So
it's also important that people know what to do with their hair while at home.
Well, it went well. I was able to loosen it and put it in
big twist. Did you lose a lot of hair?
No.
Less than usual. I am going to share with you 3 tips that you can use to take care of your hair during this lockdown. Tip number 1, moisture, moisture, moisture. I know that's 3, but that's tip number 1. Do not let your hair dry out during this time. Make sure your hair is well moisturized. Make sure you are staying away from things that dry out your hair, like your air conditioning. Yes, that is one of the secret enemies in our homes, air conditioning. If you have one, you need to either stay away from it or switch it off once in a while so that it doesn't dry out your hair. So what you need to do in order to keep your hair moisturized is you can either use water or a leave-in conditioner or even a moisturizer to apply to your hair. Don't forget the tips. Don't forget the ends of your hair. So apply it and saturate it well and work it in a downward motion like this, using what we call praying hands and squeezing in the product. So that is how you keep your hair well moisturized. Number 2, you are staying at home, you are not going anywhere. Please cover your hair up with a satin scarf or a satin bonnet, or a silk scarf or a silk bonnet. Now, remember I spoke about air conditioning. If you are in a situation where you are unable to switch off the air conditioner or you are unable to stay away from it, this will help you. So after you've moisturized your hair, you can wrap your hair like this with your satin scarf or your silk scarf or your satin bonnet or your silk bonnet so that you can retain moisture. The issue is if you are unable to retain moisture and your hair dries out, it is exposed to breakage. And if it breaks, you are unable to retain length and your hair cannot stay as healthy as you would like it to be. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3, please shampoo your hair. Shampoo your hair. Don't say because you are not going out, because you are not exposed to dust, because you are not working out as much, that you don't need to shampoo your hair. Please shampoo your hair.
For men, to have a clean shave would be difficult at a time like this without knowing what to do.
Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to shave yourself during this lockdown. First of all, you know I don't have beard, so I'm going to create an illusion with my black eye pencil. So assuming you have small beard here and you have a tiny or a bushy mustache, all you need to do is put on your clipper and make sure that the lever is up. Of course, you don't have a sterilizer, just get a spirit, dab it with a little cotton wool and clean your clipper. And off you go. Hold your clipper like this. Then of course you need a small mirror or you need your camera, then you turn on your selfie camera. So what you just have to do is, depending on where you want your beard to be, you go towards there holding your clipper like this. And you drag, you come up, you drag. You come this way, depending on, you may not be able to use your left hand. So assuming you cannot use your left hand, what you just have to do is drag this way, drag this way. But if you're like me that can use left hand, what you just have to do is drag this way and drag this way.
Onye is a professional barber. She says the lockdown has taken a great toll on her business.
This lockdown has really affected my business negatively because this is a month now and we've been shut down of any operation for safety measures and of course due to government instructions, so we are government compliant. During this lockdown, it's not been easy, but I've been able to use this opportunity to look at my books and see how I can re-strategize and come back after the lockdown. That's one. To use this opportunity also to learn some digital marketing skills and how to use some softwares and some apps. So if I'm not learning something during this lockdown, definitely I am watching television to keep up what's happening in Nigeria and of course the world at large.
Electricity is a big issue in the country, and people have devised means of providing electricity for themselves with generators, inverters, or solar panels.
So most times I come to this setup and
Mr. Tunde Kende Peters, whose business is to install solar panels, says because of the lockdown he is unable to move around and install panels for his clients.
COVID-19 took every one of us by surprise, and it has affected my finances. I'm practically spending from my savings now. What am I doing now to make money? Nothing, because nobody is willing to invest in any capital project for now. And even if they are willing, the country is on lockdown and we can't go out there to do any installation. So what I'm doing presently is to watch webinars, learn about new equipment, go to DIY sites to learn new things, and hopefully when we come out of COVID-19 we would give our customers affordable and very good solar solutions.
Weddings, ceremonies and social gatherings have been put on hold as a result of the pandemic, and people who are making a living from ceremonies have been affected greatly. For wedding dressmaker, she's taken out time to continue to create designs and keep herself busy till the lockdown is over.
In the meantime, I've been making patterns for our clients. I've been doing some beadwork. I've been creating designs and doing illustrations, learning here and there. And I've also still been able to do my consultations, even though I have to do them online now, and chat with the clients we had before the lockdown so that they're all rest assured. Also, we have students that we train. We have a fashion school. So to ensure that the students are not completely less busy during this period, we've moved some of our classes online. So we're also working on online classes at the moment. And generally, I just see this as a long holiday for us all to better ourselves at our craft, so that by the time we get back to work, we're a lot better than before the lockdown. And also as some good opportunity to get good rest, because it's well needed. So I'll just advise everybody to stay safe during this period, but still ensure that you maximize your time at home.
Everyone, this is how I'm spending my own stay at home. I call it stay at home challenge, which is bonding with your children. I'm baking today. Actually, I have a delivery to do today. So I'll be baking with my kids. And Dara, how many eggs do we need altogether?
The children have also taken the lockdown as an opportunity to learn the rudiments of cooking from their mom.
Measurements? How about the buttermilk? Yogurt?
Yogurt is still
Oil? Sugar? What do you mean of the sugar?
Not to make it too much, it's going to be
1 cup. So let's start. Show your sister how to do the wet ingredients. I will face the dry ingredients immediately. Even though catering has been quite slow, and the caterer have been a caterer for 12 years, and the only way we can make money is by crowd, birthday parties, weddings, and it's been bad. But I'm surviving and I'm having fun with my kids. I've been teaching them how to cook. What are they teaching? Catfish what? Grilled and pepper soup. You make pepper soup now? And what else do I teach again? Jojo, dinosaur dishes.
Cupcakes coming right up. Don't let your mouth water. She has orders to fill. For Dakpo Balogun, who bakes cakes, business has been put on hold.
I must confess it's really been difficult. I actually do not have the luxury of having my store in the same place where I live or having it close to where I live. And considering the fact that I had to shut down operations 1 week before the federal government lockdown, because I kept getting calls from customers cancelling their dates, postponing their event and all that. And the kind of cake that we make, we major in the novelty cakes. They're majorly dependent on the big events and the likes, on the big celebrations. So we had to shut down operations. There's nothing we're doing. I just wake up and strategize on how to move the business forward after the pandemic is over. Exercise, play some video games, watch Netflix, back to strategizing on how to move the business forward. From time to time I call customers, call my staff. We just hope everything ends soon, because as we speak, my staff agreed to a 50% pay cut, and it's not been easy because I'm doing nothing and there's nothing to be done from home. So I wish all this is over soon so we can get back to work.
In the meantime, paying the bills has not stopped. So how are some of these fashion designers trying to make money despite the lockdown?
Most of all our tailors had to stop work. So right now we are not producing anything. And our retail, we just finally decided yesterday to start selling off what we have on ground, because it had seemed like there was no money coming in and we still had bills to pay. I mean, no matter what happens, we still have to pay our rent. We still would have to pay electricity bills because it won't stop running. We still have all the other costs to pay. So we have decided to sell off most of the clothes we have on ground in our ready-to-wear line at almost nothing, so that we can consistently have some cash flow and we would not keep the clothes there and depreciate the cost, the value. That's what we've been doing. We're praying and hoping that all of this would stop soon and we'll be able to go back to business. Recently, this morning, I had considered making face masks, since the government of Lagos State has said that face masks would be required for people who are going out. But now the challenge would be, how do I get my tailors to come here? Because this is where we produce from. And I don't know. I don't know what to do, but I know that all of this would soon be over and then we'll have our lives back. While we're doing this, please stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and keep social distance.
When everywhere is locked down, no going out, no birthday parties, no weddings, no O1 bed, nothing, no offices to go, then there is nothing for the tailor to sew. So for me, business is locked down. And honestly, I can't pray for all this to be over. I really pray for all this to be over. I want to go back to work. I want to go back to the hustle and bustle of my business. I want to go back to trying to meet deadlines. I want to go back to late nights, trying to meet my clients' deadlines and everything. I'm tired of sleeping and not doing anything. And well, after a week of idleness, I decided to take the time off to do a little bit of upgrade on my business and go online, do some courses online and stuff. But really, I want to go back to the practical life of my job.
And small business owners say the lockdown has affected them greatly.
This lockdown has wreaked havoc on my business. Before now, I get my goods from Lagos, Onitsha and Aba. But right now, because of the closure of the borders, because of the closure of all major markets in Nigeria, I don't have anywhere else to get goods from. And per adventure, I even get my goods. In Port Harcourt, we're on lockdown. We are not allowed to open our shops, but the markets are not allowed to open. So there's really nowhere to run your business. Right now, people have money for the bare necessities like food, diapers, and of course, those things that a pregnant woman must go to the hospital with. So there's no money to buy baby toys, baby clothes, back to school items, and of course, who thinks about fashion at a time like this? We're staying home to ensure we flatten the curve. We're staying home to reduce the number and the rate of infections. And it's working, of course, not working as well as it should, because a lot of people are not sticking to the social distancing rule, and we're not observing lots of the safety protocols as we are taught. So it's really hard.
It is natural to eat more during this lockdown, but eating healthy and exercising will help.
For us, our business is mostly online and digital, so it hasn't really affected us in such a bad way, because we never did have customers coming into our office to do any consultation or checkups or anything like that. Our business model has run straight online and digital, so it has been a lot easier for us, to really plow through and climb up these times.
Church gatherings have also been closed for over 4 weeks now, and pastors have found creative ways to reach their members through online services.
My responsibilities as a pastor has not in any way reduced. I still carry out my duties of oversight, of care, of communicating the Word of God, of teaching and preaching the Word of God, deploying several online medium. This means that I've had to engage several innovative and creative angles to ensure that my duties as a pastor remains on the cutting edge, whether I'm calling every day or having one form of meeting or the other, using any of the various internet platforms to ensure that the people that I have oversight over as a pastor are doing well and things are going on well for them, and I also ensure that I am preaching and teaching the Word of God to them on a consistent basis.
During this lockdown, a number of people have been arrested and charged. Some have been convicted without the presence of a lawyer. This is because lawyers are not exempted from the lockdown and they cannot move around. This brings to question if the rights of the people won't be trampled upon during this lockdown.
It then raises the question of fair hearing. The people who have been impacted by the enforcement of this COVID-19 regulation are also entitled by law to be represented, to be defended. So in this light, I would suggest that some of these regulations should be modified, should be looked at and modified to accommodate lawyers as persons providing or professionals providing essential services, because it becomes difficult for an accused person who have been alleged to have committed a COVID-19 regulation violation to have access to their lawyers.
As the number of cases continues to grow, it is important that everyone stays safe and stay at home.
And that's our stop for today. So remember, no matter how difficult this period is, it's important that as a people we understand that this too will pass. So don't lose faith, let's not lose ourselves, let's stay strong, mentally alert and eat healthy. I'm Victoria Ido signing out. If you missed any part of the show, you can check it on our YouTube channel. You can also send your comments to the social media handles showing on your screen. Till I see you next week, stay home, stay safe. Love you guys.